It's all about that sand, about that sand. No seaweed. Sand, go on about it forever. I love building sandcastles. I love just like crunching it in my hands. I love letting it fall through my hands. I love when it's on my feet and then I see it dry off and then fly away in the wind when I move my toes. Like, yeah, it's the sand for me, for sure. Key West was 1010% beautiful, but their beaches are different because they're surrounded by coral reefs. So on the beach, you're literally just stepping on broken, washed up coral pieces, which were really interesting. I found a bunch of like rocks with holes in them, kind of formation things, and like just like cool looking coral pieces. You better believe I collected a handful of everything. I'm one of those. I call it beach trash, even though it's not trash. It's actual beach items like shells and glass and stuff. I found very few sea glass pieces, but I found a couple. I wasn't looking that hard either. But it's like Key West was so different with the beach, the sand quality, but the water quality, like, oh my gosh, there's nothing like it in my opinion. It was like, and it was pretty calm. You had a couple excitable days while I was there, and I guess that was so blissful about what we were able to do for spending about 3 weeks there is like, if one day was cloudy, if the one day you're traveling in Key West is cloudy, which I would never recommend doing one day in Key West because it takes so long to get there. It takes, it feels longer than it does too because like it's not a big highway, and then like God forbid an accident's happening and then you're like stuck on 2-lane traffic for hours. But yeah, like I definitely recommend as much time in Key West as you can fucking get. Shout out to some of the friends there that I made. I was so eager. I was so looking forward to like showing back up in Key West, a month later and being like, hey guys, it's me again. Like, oh yeah, we just had this whole cool trip and da da da. Now we're on our way back, but wanted to stop here one more time and say hi and go to the beach and, see one more sunset on the fucking beautiful water. And, yeah. I'm glad I didn't try and stretch it out one more week. As burnt out as I am right now, I can only imagine. So yeah, so like my tips definitely in this little wrap up would, include like trying to think of those things that you're not thinking of, which is like nearly impossible to do because how are you supposed to do that? But I guess more so than that is like when you go in on your first trip, know that like you're going to be learning. Know that the next time you'll be more prepared. And know that there will be things that you couldn't have anticipated to be prepared for. Me, for instance, the eardrops, like to bring my eardrops, like I don't have an ear infection when I leave from Connecticut to Florida, but now I do when I'm in Florida and my eardrops are in Connecticut. So it's like if you have those kind of things, like, that's important. For me, we went zero build with it and kind of like added on a little bit here and there. I would say like that's probably one thing I wish I did more of was put a little bit like time and effort into making the systems a little bit more efficient. So like to like declutter some of the things like my fucking junk pile of sunglasses because I'm a sunglass hoarder and like other little whimsical things that I was gonna like adjust with netting here or a clippy do thing there. Like I love watching all the videos on here. Somebody recently was sharing in the women's camping group. Shoestring Martha is her YouTube channel, and she did a cool foley board or folly board that is like an add-on into her Forerunner that has like her coffee mugs and her little ledge to do coffee on in her car, inside her vehicle in the morning. So like those things, like if you have the ability and time and energy and drive to do them, really do them. Me personally, it's like that's a hard thing for me because it's like the paralysis is real, in a sense of like if I were to tell you put your hand on that hot stove and like you really, really try, but your body won't let you, right? Now imagine that being every little task, like me trying to get myself to make the little clippy do thing for my sunglasses. It's like, I know I physically can, but like my body, like my brain, something won't let me, right? So working through that's always fun. Let's backtrack one more step from St. Augustine. It was a really big push across the way. Fucking New Mexico to Florida was a big, big push on the way back. I think it took us, like pretty much like 2 days worth of driving. We stopped once in Pensacola and then once in St. Augustine. I don't think we stopped anywhere from New Mexico to Pensacola. I think we might have had one overnight. I can't remember. It all gets to be a blur sometimes. That's why I like to do these in a little bit more, like in the now, as opposed to reflection. But yeah, so to be honest, like everything after Key West, it was necessary. There were good moments. There were a lot of learning moments, and learning about myself. And honestly, like taking accountability and acknowledgement and swallowing the pill that, like, I am sometimes, in the aftermath, a person that I am not exactly liking. I've said or done things that were, out of pocket, off color, harmful, antagonistic, and like I'm also trying to give myself grace and like forgive myself for this, which is, it's like, this inside here is all the time. So it's like when I look at my partner and I'm like, hey, what's up, buttercup, like, hey, what's going on in your mind, like, what you thinking about? And it'll be like, nothing. And I'm like, gosh, I wish I knew what nothing felt like inside of my brain. But I had a video up talking about like domestic violence in van life, which is a valid subject. I made that video private right now just because, like, it's not exactly a part of my journey that I'm really proud of sharing, or like I feel a little bit differently than the ways that I felt when I was recording that video. You wake up the next day and some of the fog is a little bit clearer, and like I was able to look back without such hard to fucking handle emotions happening and be like, ah, damn, I didn't have to do it that way. And the way that I did do it, like, so in specific regards, my partner and I had about a week where we were separated, where we parted ways on a fucking remote mountainous road in New Mexico. It wasn't pretty. The reason why we were going down that road at that time was because I was like making an impulsive decision to be parting ways as travel partners, and he had some reactions that were very not okay. I was continuing to have reactions. Other actions happened, other actions were taken, so in the sense of like, and then like, hey, it's a mess still, and like it's hard because we love each other, we support each other, and we want to continue, but like making that decision to both take accountability, both be cognizant of like what, if and when the next situation may arise, like how will we handle this differently, how will we be more loving or compassionate or kind. So that's where that's that. I did go from New Mexico to Vegas. Vegas was fun. I spent one day. I drove down the strip once. It looked cool, sure. I don't have money to spend So like walking into a single one of those places would just kind of, that's the one thing that like was probably the unexpectedly hardest for me to deal with. It's not the lack of bathrooms or showers or like waking up in the middle of the night really having to go. Like that's difficult, don't get me wrong, but like the rich people envy was so real, so unanticipatedly real, because most days like I can live within my means, I can make my stuff special, but when you're in tourist locations, like tourist destinations, and everything is so expensive, like I highly recommend, especially if you're out there on a solo budgeted trip, do not go to touristy areas. Do not. I mean, maybe drive through it, right? Like see it. But like, holy heck, you know, it was like the whole time we were in Key West, we didn't get on a single boat, we didn't do a single scuba dive, like we didn't get to rent a jet ski or a scooter or, you know, like have an excursion type of thing. It was mostly just beach lounging, which it was blissful, and I'm so grateful for it. But definitely, you know, it's like being a kid in a candy shop and, you know, being diabetic and you can't eat any of it or something. Like, you know, it's like really fucking hard like surrounded by all of this that you can't have, that you can't do even if you wanted to. Like if you really wanted to, I mean, sure, we probably could have found ways to make more money if we wanted to do more things, but given that I had like my budget, from my day job and stuff, you know, we were provided for, but it's like that extra kind of had to go without. And I mean, dude, oh my gosh, St. Augustine's, an ancient city brunch bar, $50 for 2 bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches that weren't even real eggs, a side of potatoes, and a glass of orange juice. $47 whole dollars. I did not look at the prices before I fucking ordered, and it was good, it was tasty, like da da da. But no ways was it worth the $47 I could really use right now. Should have had a V8. But yeah, I mean, going backwards, like we had our bad day in New Mexico, and before that we had a really good day. Gila Hot Springs was amazing. I highly recommend that place. It was $10 a night for 3 hot spring pools. You're looking at this beautiful cliffside. You're traveling into this like remote, like it was called like the Trail of the Mountain Spirits or something, and boy did you feel it. Oh my gosh, it was like that was the moment that I was looking for. I needed that moment, and I was struggling really hard because my partner wasn't at the same place as I was in the same place. You know what I mean? He wasn't with me, and that became hard. I was like, well, if that's the way you're gonna be, I'd rather just be alone. And then just like immaturity, fucking impulsivity, explosivity, it all. And anyways, Vegas, I did a ghost town excursion with one friend for an afternoon. That was kind of cute. I guess Heidi Klum had been there recently. Somebody from the show Yellowstone, the Jonas Brothers did a shoot there. Like some dance team from Not Around Here. Like it was like really cool stuff. The crystals were inexpensive. Like the gift shop was so cool and kitschy, and I got some cool stories from the lady. Like I had a great day doing a little ghost town thing. My friend was a really great host. Although the second day staying, what are you doing? I don't know what she's doing. The second day I stayed at his place, like his roommates came home super late, and I can't say anything on this, just of the fact that it happened. It's like I'm just sleeping on the couch, and it was just so funny to me. So the roommate apparently is a DJ, brought home some type of chick, and like, oh my god, it was so cringy. I'm so glad I was able to fall asleep. But he's like playing this music extremely loud, showing her a song that either he made or remixed or whatever, and it was like talking about the drop, and he's like, oh well, I like this drop even better, like musician trying to get laid kind of talk. I know it well. And I love musicians. Fucking so it's just like so like ugh. And it's like you guys are literally yelling over the music at each other. Like, what is the point of playing this music so loud right now? So after that, I was like, all right, yeah, no, I'm definitely not spending another night on this guy's couch. Like, the point of this trip is to be out there traveling and seeing things. So at that point in time, I hadn't exactly been open to reconciling with Grant yet. I was taking my space. And I was pushing onwards. I had San Francisco in my sights, San Diego, fucking had it all in my sights. I got to LA. I slept overnight in LA. I turned right back around. It was a really long couple days of driving. Give yourself driving breaks. You will feel so much better about it. Stop, go for hikes, take driving breaks. Driving 12 hours straight, multiple days, it's just like, why am I doing this myself? It's like destination hungry, I guess. I was destination hungry for fucking the Pacific Coast. And then once I got there, I feel like I didn't deserve to be there, like, with everything that was going on. Like, I was kind of, like, I kept kind of, like, running from some things. And, once we got back to the East Coast, finally, it was time to stop really avoiding things and go back home. So I saw Pacific Ocean. I didn't step in it. Made my way back across the beaches and made it safely back to Connecticut, and now just gonna try and wind down as best as possible. And I have some more videos to share, ideas and things, highlights. I'm not gonna stop talking about this trip. I'll post as many videos as I can from my experience. And until then, thanks for visiting the Jane Reports. I always say, oh, I'm going to keep this one short. Fucking thanks for being here for 45 whole minutes of your life. Ask me any questions. Hit me in the comments, or my business line is 475-222-3368. I'm always open to chat, answer questions about the experience, places, little tidbits. It's a lot of fun. And we're out.